Question?
Yeah. So now when I'm reading the sutra, the 10 stages chapter, I read it out loud, and then I just try to read through it. It just feels, I don't know how to explain what it feels like, but it feels like that I am reading something that is not pointless, but I just don't feel like when I read a dervish's story or when I read Mullah Nasruddin, there's something I can understand. Here I feel
Sometimes.
like, here I feel like I don't, I'm not like understanding anything. It's just talking
Perfect,
about.
perfect, perfect. So it's bypassing the egoic and it's bypassing your conditioned mind. There's nothing in there that you recognize as learning. There's nothing you see there that you can grab onto. So that's perfect. It's not conditioned, right? And so now your brain is like going, what the hell is this? Right? And that's perfect.
Yeah.
And so these things have lasted since for 2 millennia for a reason, right? And the reason is that they work. And but they work in ways that people imagine that as we become more technologically advanced or more modern, that we're more sophisticated. But that's not the case. Just look at the world, right? So we're more sophisticated in some ways, but we're much more primitive in other ways. So they had psychological technologies back then that we don't even know about. I mean, I know because I studied the psychology and all that stuff when I was in college and med school and stuff. And so so here we're lost, but that's perfect because now you've got an innocent mind, a mind that hasn't already been imprinted with I know what that is, and I know how this works, and I know what this is about. Right? This is something totally different. That's why it's prescribed for you specifically. So just relax and let it do it for you. I mean, it's like mantra. But this is a sophisticated mantra, a very sophisticated mantra, and a long mantra too, right? But it has effects, and as like for example, even with traditional mantras, the frequency, the vibration in the chest, Gate, gate, paragate, parasom gate, bodhi. So those are part of the effect. Now, if you told that to me, for example, when I was learning about this stuff, I would say, well, that's silly, that's crazy, that's nuts. Primitive people, right? They don't know anything. Well, that's wrong. Okay, we are the primitives, and so just enjoy it. Let it work.
Okay.
Okay, does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. So the vibration thing is actually real. Like it has effects.
Try it and find out.
Like I know how music affects me. Like any kind of music.
What is music?
Music is like sounds and vibrations and lyrics.
Harmonies of vibrations and rhythms and tones. And they most definitely have an effect. I think everybody would agree to that. But how do they do that? Does it make sense? Can we even talk about that scientifically? We can describe it and we can categorize it. We can put it in little categories. But how does that actually work? And so if you were actually going to study that, you'd have to contemplate it. Going back to contemplation. But in order to contemplate it, you'd have to have a calm mind. So you'd use a little, basic meditation to calm things down. And this is basically so you can learn. To do that, you have to relax. Right?
Yeah. Okay. The next question I had was about the sutra only. There is I think there's a diamond matrix that they keep talking about, and it seems there's a significance to the naming itself.
Yes.
That's why they named it that way. But I'm just not getting it.
Well, what does matrix mean?
Matrix to me is just like this net of things, right?
Right. That's to you, but what about to them? So matrix. So where does it come from? The word.
To them, where does it come? Like
Mother.
Matrimonial,
maternal, maternity. I mean, look it up. Look up. Do you have an etymology dictionary?
Yeah, let me look up. Yeah, it comes from mother in Latin.
Okay, so we've got mother, right? So it's not you could use it like in the movies. I mean, and that's the problem. Part of the problem is that they co-opt these words, right? Like with a movie or something like that. And maybe the people who wrote the book understood what matrix was, the mother, the womb or whatever, right? But people go off in their own weird directions. That's why I really recommend having a dictionary of etymology around, right? But let's look at this word diamond. What is it? Tell me some features of a diamond.
Diamond is basically everlasting. It's hard. It reflects everything in all directions.
It's indestructible.
Indestructible. Yes.
Okay, so what would a diamond make? What would an indestructible mother of things? Remember, in the Tao Te Ching, they speak of non-being is a mother of. What is it? Being is the heaven. No, non-being is the. Well, do you have the Tao Te Ching there?
Yeah.
I don't have mine here, and I don't want to get that wrong.
This one, right?
No. Tao Te Ching. Right.
This one?
Yes.
Yeah.
First page. I think it's the third line.
First page, third line. Yeah.
Read it.
It says discourse. It's from the previous line. It may mean a path, a way, a principle.
Oh no, you're in the intro. Get to the text.
Okay. Third line. Non-being is called the beginning of heaven and earth.
Okay. Next line.
Being is called the mother of all things.
Okay. So non-being is called the mother, the matrix of all things. No, of heaven and earth. Being.
Beginning of heaven and earth.
Okay. Okay, and so in the next line they talk about being the mother of all things.
Yeah.
All right, so just contemplate that.
Okay.
The difference between the mother of heaven and earth and the mother of all things.
Okay.
And so diamond matrix evokes all kinds of different associations, right? And so that's maybe part of it, but you're only reading one book out of this, but it's a very important. It's like the core book. I mean, frankly, and it gives you an idea of the 10 stages of development, right? And this is used by everyone. This is used by the Zenists. It's used by Huayan. It's used by the other Buddhists. It's been used historically the whole time because it's really good stuff, and more than one way too, because it develops characteristics of the character, of the personality, in a certain way that is very, very good, right? And it's forgotten, and so that we end up with lopsided students, right? And so diamond matrix is an indestructible mother, right? But it's also could refer to, but who knows what else it may be referring to? Because you're right, it is also a network, like the net of Indra. And the other thing the diamonds do is they reflect, right? And so now we have net of Indra, we have mother, we have indestructible, right? And we have, this is the name of a Buddha. And so this Buddha is an interesting Buddha, I'd say. But there's a lot of interesting Buddhas in there, is there not? So just the fact that there's so many different Buddhas is, a surprise to many people. They think there's one Buddha or one Bodhisattva, when in fact there are more Bodhisattvas than there are grains of sand in the Ganges River, right? Many more. But how does that work? And so you can see how your mind is starting to expand, right? And then you're asked to visualize a world that's as many worlds away, as many universes away as there are grains of sand in the Ganges River, times the number of grains of sand in the Ganges River. So that's gonna stretch your mind, right? And that's one of the functions. But just let it do its work. This one you don't need to. This one you don't need to take apart. Except you'll be going around and you go, wow, emerald banner, wow, that's interesting. Or the flower bank world. So now if you had the time, which you do, I would say read the flower bank world.
Flower what?
Flower bank world. Look, do you have the Avatamsaka there?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Read the chapters of the chapter titles in the beginning.
Okay.
You should be reading it front to back. Frankly, I feel a little.
So the first chapter is the wonderful adornments of the leaders of the worlds.
Beautiful. Next.
Next is appearance of the Buddha.
Gorgeous. Next.
The meditation of the enlightening being, universally good.
Samantabhabra. Okay, good. Next.
The formation of the worlds.
The formation of the worlds. Good. Next.
The flower bank world.
There you go. Boom. And so even just reading the table of contents, you see, whoa, this is different. And so the flower bank world, frankly, I would read it just for pleasure. Okay. Just for, just to feel better. It's so beautiful. Read, just open it up randomly in the flower bank world and just read some of it, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
But read it softly and slowly, right?
Okay.
Gently.
Yeah.
Because flower bank world, a flower bank world. That's interesting. And because the sutra is called the Flower Ornament Sutra, the adornment of flowers sutra, right? Okay, so let's just hear a little bit.
The flower bank world, then the enlightening being, universally good, again addressed the great assembly, saying, "Children of Buddha, this flower bank array ocean of worlds was adorned and purified by Vairocana Buddha. As in the remote past, he cultivated enlightening practices for as many eons as atoms in an ocean of worlds."
Ooh. Just stop right there. As many eons as in an ocean of worlds.
As many eons as oceans in the world.
Okay, keep going.
In each eon, associating with as many Buddhas as there are atoms in an ocean of worlds. In the presence of each Buddha, purely practicing great vows as numerous as atoms in an ocean of worlds. This flower bank array, ocean of worlds, is supported by as many atmospheres as there are atoms in the polar mountain. The bottommost atmosphere is called impartial abode. It holds arrays of blazing flames of all jewels above it. The next atmosphere is called producing various precious adornments. It holds diamond banners radiant with pure light above it. The next higher atmosphere is called precious power. It holds chimes of all jewels above it. The next higher atmosphere is called impartial flavor. It holds diamond orbs of the appearance of sunlight above it. The next higher atmosphere is called various universal.
Okay, so you can see how it's just it'll create a trance, right?
Yeah.
And it's gorgeous, and it makes your mind like flower, right?
Yeah.
And it makes it, you have to get bigger. So flower bank world, I'll leave it to you, but I would read that one too, just for the joy of it, because it's just good for your soul. It's good for your brain. It's good. It's universal good, right? And then also you'll start to see where some of these words, like diamond, starts to mean something a little bit different when you've already been in the flower bank world, and you've seen oceans of diamonds and trees with emerald leaves, right? And bodhisattvas like by the gazillions, all shining beautiful light, jewel light. And there's sound, and there's smells, and there's fragrance, and there's colors, and there's song, and it's just like, man, you could hang out in the flower bank world, and sometimes you just want to go hang out there, right? So it's yeah, it's a gift of humanity to us.
Mm-hmm.
It breaks my heart that people don't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so that's kind of the gist of that one. I mean, it's not the gist. It's like the tiniest little speck, as you know.
So when I read this, like this chapter or the other chapter, in my head,
You'll start smiling inside. You'll start smiling.
yeah, it's not smiling, but also at the same time, there's a thread saying, "Oh, this is like crazy. Like I'm not even understanding it, but I'm just feeling happier. Is this the way to just continue reading it? Like that thread."
It's going past your ego. It's bypassing your ego. It's bypassing the defenses. You know, so throughout the ages, if you know the enemy, if you want to call it that, is the ego, right? The jihad is against the self. And so through the ages, they've discovered, you know, they've worked on many different ways. They've got sutra, they've got koans, they've got meditative techniques, they've got mantra, they've got all kinds of different jokes, you know, the Sufi specialty, or teaching stories, all these ways to bypass and they last because they're beautiful and they work, right? And so, yeah, I would thank you for reading that. I'm going to go hang out in the flower bank world for a while. You know, it's a nice place, beautiful place, and it's true. As true as this junk is, right?
I mean, yeah, I mean, theoretically, I understand that it's as true as the stuff, but yeah. Also, in this,
We're gonna have to redo science. I'm afraid. You know, they didn't find it there when they looked at matter. I mean, we could have told them. They said it. Then time. They knew about time in this. They already documented and wrote about it in the 2nd century, right? And it was illusory. Yeah. And same thing with space and matter. The Indians, the genius of the Indian. You know about this stuff more than I do. So science has to catch up again, right? And so, why is that? How is that? You know, that doesn't fit with what we learned in school. Well, what can I say? It doesn't fit. We must acquit. Something like that. Okay, go on.
Yeah, so now as I continue reading this book, is there a sequence of chapters that I should follow through or just like go in order?
For the Avatamsaka?
Yeah.
Oh, you should start in the beginning and read all the way through. That's so much better.
Okay.
If you read 20 minutes a day, you'll be done in 4 months.
Okay, got it. So then I would just finish the 10 stages.
That's what I was told. I don't know. I read a lot more. When I did it the first few times, you know, I read more than that because I didn't want to put it down or I had some time, right? And it felt good. Not always. Sometimes it's a pain. But that's part of it too, the tension, the relaxation, you know. That's how humor works too sometimes. And so these are sophisticated instruments. And so definitely from beginning to end.
Got it. So once I finish 10 stages, then I will just go from beginning.
Yeah, good. Yeah, excellent.
Cool. Then I have one more question.